What is going on, guys? We are just a few days away from the release of Luocha, and many people are probably wondering if they should pull for him or not. With both Kafka and Blade dropping next patch, there is no easy choice when it comes to who to spend your precious Stellar Jades on. That is why today, I wanted to discuss the upcoming 5 stars and try to help you make a confident decision in who to pull for. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Now, before we talk about Luocha, let's talk about the characters that will be following him and competing for his Stellar Jades. After Luocha, we have both Kafka and Blade, both of which seem pretty promising in their own way. Kafka, for example, will be a must-have if you want to use damage over time teams, and will be hard to replace if you're interested in this playstyle. Blade will probably be quite the powerful wind damage dealer, a title that can only really be taken by Dan Heng currently. These factors make both Kafka and Blade hard units to pass up on, as they can easily help fill in a gap that your account may have. Now, what does Luocha bring to the table? Luocha is an imaginary healer which can fill in the gaps in many people's accounts in two different ways. The first gap that he can fill is the imaginary damage type that currently only people who have Welt can make use of. The second is the role of a secondary healer for those who don't have Bailu, which can be very beneficial in Memory of Chaos. From the looks of it, Luocha will most likely be quite a good healer, as well as bringing some utility in his Dispel and Cleanse, which can make him much more appealing than someone like Natasha or Bailu. Although it is important to note that everyone will be getting a free imaginary character in 1.2 in the form of Yukong, making his imaginary typing slightly less valuable for some. When we compare the upcoming 5 stars to what their competition is currently in the game, we find that only Kafka is without any real direct competition, as no one else really makes use of damage over time quite like her. Blade has direct competition in the role of Wind DPS in Dan Heng, and since everyone gets Dan Heng for free, that role can already be filled quite easily. Luocha has no direct competition in the imaginary element, however this role as healer has stiff competition in Bailu and Natasha, both of which are already excellent healers. It is also important to note that the need for a secondary healer is only necessary for those who want to push Memory of Chaos as far as possible, making him kind of pointless for more casual players who are only really interested in the story. With all of this in mind, it is clear that Kafka is the most Stellar Jade efficient for an account, as no one else in the game is quite like her, while the other two options can be replaced by another character, or even have no use for certain players. However, if pushing Memory of Chaos is really something you want to do, Luocha is probably more valuable than Kafka for people who don't have Bailu or Japard. Both Kafka and Luocha open up a new playstyle or fill a much needed role that most people can't fill quite yet. However, Blade is simply a wind DPS. Now he may be a really good DPS when he comes out, but DPS can be easily replaced or power crept, so I believe he will be the least Stellar Jade efficient and provide the least value to most people's accounts. Now, I've also heard people saying that Luocha will pay for himself by allowing you to earn more Stellar Jades for Memory of Chaos. However, I don't think it's a very good argument to justify pulling for him because of how long it will take for it to actually be true. Every 14 days you can earn a total of 600 Stellar Jades for Memory of Chaos. This equates to around 43 Jades per day. The average cost for a 5 star, if you don't lose 50-50, is around 80 pulls, or 12,800 Jades. Divide this by the daily bonus of 43 Jades, and your Luocha will pay off his debt after 297 days, or almost 10 months. Now, this is already quite the generous estimate, since it is assuming you can't get any Jades from Memory of Chaos without Luocha, and assumes you don't lose the 50-50. Since it'll take almost a year for Luocha to pay off his debt, I don't think this argument is a very good justification for pulling him, so keep this in mind if this is what pushed you over the edge on him. For all of these reasons, I have created this simple flowchart to help you decide which of the 3 to pull for. First off, how serious of a player are you? Do you want to push Memory Chaos, or do you not really care about it and just want to enjoy the story? If you want to push Memory of Chaos as far as possible, and you don't have either Bailu or Japard, then I highly recommend pulling for Luocha, as he will make a perfect fit for your second team. Now, if you just want to enjoy the story, the Luocha isn't necessary for you at all, so I'd focus on choosing either Kafka or Blade. The choice between these two is pretty simple, as you should just pick whichever one you like more. If you like the damage over time playstyle and enjoy using characters like Sampo, Serval, or Himiko, then go for Kafka. If you want to win DPS, then go for Blade. Simple as that. Now, no matter what, if you don't like these characters, then simply don't pull for them. There will be tons more characters to come out that will either fill the same role as these ones, or outright replace them, and I promise you, you will have more fun if you play with a character you like than a character you don't. However, if you're like me and like all 3 of these characters, then I hope this video has helped make the decision a little bit easier for you, and you can make a more confident decision in who to spend those precious Jades on. Regardless of who you pull for, I wish you all the best of luck, and thank you so much for watching. So take care, and I'll see you later.